if you have questions or comments, I'll try my best to answer those here on Logan County election. Spent a couple hours today with the fine folks over at the Logan County Election Board, and I got to tell you, those folks, by the way, that address is 224 East Vilas. Phone number is 405-282-1900 at the election board. I'll give that later as well, but I cannot just talk high enough about Shalene, John, and Sandy, the three people in the election board office. They work so hard. There's so much stuff that I knew about. I learned more today about what they do to lead up to the election process. And this is a big one here on June 28th. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it before election, especially the few days before election. And on election day, it's just a nonstop deal, long days for them. And so just cannot thank them enough. Shalene, John, and Sandy, they work extremely hard. Okay, so when you go in to vote, there's three people there that are working. You have inspector, you have a judge, and you have a clerk. Now, the inspector, as it sounds, overlooks the entire process, makes sure everything goes smoothly. They got to pick up stuff before and after the election, but then they're also there to make sure everything goes as planned. The judge, the judge is usually a Republican, and the Democrat, and the clerk is usually a Democrat. So you have three people. You have the inspector, you have the judge, and you have the clerk. When you go in there and you have those nice smiles looking at you, you're greeted when you go to that little registry book and they look you up. That is the judge. And then most of your judges, again, are Republicans. And then the clerk gives you the appropriate ballots. And then the inspector's there just kind of make sure it all goes well. So a lot of people didn't know that there's three people there, that one's a Republican, one's a Democrat, just to make sure that the voting process is fair. And I got to tell you, I learned it. It was a reminder today how good the Oklahoma election process is. Is there some little flaws? I'm sure someone can find those, but they do a great job in Oklahoma doing that. So you go in there, and then those are your deal. And I bring that up because they are needing some help. They need some help with precinct officials there. They have just enough right now, but they need more because illnesses happen, emergencies happen, and they really need precinct officials. And again, if you want to be able to help them out, you can give them a call at 405-282-1900 to work on the polls on election day. They are needing help for June 28th, August 23rd, and November 8th of this year. The hours are 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Yes, they are long hours, but a great way to give back and help serve Logan County. The judge and clerk, just mentioned those folks, they get paid $100 plus mile pay if they travel 10 miles one way. And then inspector gets $110 to do that plus mile fees as well. The requirements, two requirements. You got to be 18, and of course you got to be, if you're 18, I should say first, you got to be a registered voter in Logan County. Of course, you're 18 years old if you're a registered voter in Logan County. But you got to be a registered voter in Logan County. And then the process after that is you can go to the election board and watch a little bit of a training. There's about a 2.5 hour training on this process. You go in there and they can help you out. Or if you want to do it from the comfort of your home, the election board office can send you a link and you can sign affidavits that you completed, you watched the training, all that good stuff. Now that training, that training is $35. So no, but I got to tell you, I have three great precinct officials at my polling location. I just can't brag enough on them, but they really need some help. I know my mother-in-law was helping, my wife's aunt, uncle are helping as well. So it'd be a great way to give back, a great way to be a part of the voting process. And so they definitely need help with precinct officials. Again, give them a call, 405-282-1900, and they will help you in the right direction if you have any additional questions that might have. Okay, so as we know with the latest census, a lot of things have changed with boundaries. Everything is with boundaries. There's just so many boundaries out there, with water line boundaries, sewer line boundaries, school boundaries, zip code boundaries, telephone, there's electricity boundaries. There's a whole bunch of those. But so things have changed with the boundaries of the U.S. reps, the state reps, and the county commissioners. Of course, that happens every 10 years with the census. And with all these boundary changes, and I got a map here to show you, if I can pull that up here real quick. It is, they try to explain it to me, and it's just, it is crazy of all the different boundaries. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second with all these boundaries, because I bring that up because since those boundaries changed, precincts have changed as well. So where you might have voted one day or in the past may have changed. My polling location has changed, and I'm going to show you an easy way to figure all that out. Of course, you can always call and get help from them, but I'm going to show you a way that will answer a lot of your questions. You can all do that on your computer, and I'll show you that here in just a second. But with the new precincts, with not only new boundaries, but Logan County, as we all know, is the third fastest growing county in the state of Oklahoma. And so the population since the last 10 years has grown. Therefore, the number of precincts was 22. There was 22 polling locations across the county. That has now increased to 30 precincts, and those 30 precincts are now divided into 24 locations. There was 21 locations, but now there's 24 locations. So that goes again, if you want to be a precinct official, they need your help because there's more precincts. So you have 6 new locations, 3 workers there. That's 18 people that they have to find. And so that's why they definitely need your help if you want to be a precinct official. 24 locations, 30 precincts. There are sub-precincts. So we'll get into the sub-precincts here in just a minute. So another thing I want to mention, a huge credit goes to Logan County Sheriff Damon Devereaux. He helps the election board save so much money and time. The trustees help with equipment moving. The sheriff's office also helps with security at locations. As you can imagine, with everything going on in the world today, voting is a big deal. It's always been a big deal, but it's emotional the time of the year as well. And so a big credit to Logan County Sheriff Damon Devereaux. Him and his office help so much for the election board to not only with security, but also helps with moving and just being available to the election board office. So a big thank you to the sheriff's office for that. Okay, so the next thing, I'm going to show you the online portal, and this is it's very informative. It will help a lot of people out to understand where you vote at, who you're voting for, sample ballots, all that good stuff. And I got that right here. This is the link that you need to go to. I'm about to pull it up here on my computer. Oops. How about there? Okay, so that's the website, and I will put that into the comments as well. I'll put this link in the comments if you want to type it out that right there, but I'll try to put them in the comments as well. If you're watching the replay, it'll be there. Also, if you're watching a replay, if you have questions, I will try to answer those as well. If I don't know, or if you don't want to talk to me, you can always call the election board office, 405-282-1900. Okay, so you go to this website and you type in your information. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of my info here. I would type in Evans. My name is Chris. And then I would type in my birthday right here, which I think was on the screen a second ago. That's okay. There's really no secrets. If you want to find anything about anybody, it's pretty easy to do these days. So, okay. And I'm going to pull this screen up here. Okay, so once you're in here, you type in your name and your birthday, and here is your information. So right here at the top is my precinct, 402. The important part on the precinct is the last 3 numbers, 308. That is my precinct number. And I'm going to show this a couple times, but here are the precincts. So for my precinct, and I will share this map with everybody here. So my precinct is 308, which is right there in the heart almost. Okay, so that also tells you, you're Republican or Democrat. And then here's the information that's important to look. You can take a look at your polling location. You can take a look at your sample ballots, upcoming election, absentee ballot, your voting history. And I'm not sure last time I missed an election. So my score is, there's not a score, but I have a very good voting history. Take a lot of pride in that. Your county election board, which I forgot to mention earlier, the election board, one Republican and one Democrat. The Republican Party and the Democrat Party of Logan County, they pick one. Pat Paradise is the Republican on the election board, and the Democrat on the election board is Evelyn Nephew. Again, the GOP and the Democrat Party bring those in. They also have alternates. I believe they are looking for an alternate for the Democrat Party. If you want to be on the want to be on there or request to be on there, go to the Republican Party of Logan County or the Democrat Party of Logan County. So, but anyway, and so down here is another important thing, and we'll get into absentee ballots here. I learned a lot about absentee ballots today. Here in just, I've never done absentee ballot. I've always voted in person, so that's a little bit different. But here's a bunch of things you can do. You can request an absentee ballot, change your political affiliation. You can do that, but it's too late to do that for this election on June 28th. You can change your residence address with current county, change a residence address to another county, or you can change your mailing address. You can do that there. Absentee ballot. These are the days that you voted. There's all the ones that I voted all the way back to 2000. So I don't wonder why it just started 2000. I was voting before that, but anyway, no big deal. But this voter portal is a great tool to find out where you vote, and that will be important to where you vote on Tuesday, because they're on Tuesday, June 28th. We'll get to absentee ballot and early voting as well. Got a sheet here. There are 4 polling locations that are not being used that were used in the past. Lakeview Baptist Church is no longer going to be used. Meridian Fire Station is no longer going to be used. Guthrie Housing Authority is not going to be used. And the First Assembly of God Church is not going to be used. The Guthrie Housing Authority was one of the big ones here in Guthrie. Them and the First Christian Church. Those were the 2 big polling locations here. But with the new districting, the boundaries crossed. Guthrie Housing Authority and First Christian Church crossed. So they are in the same boundary. Therefore, you can only have one there. And so they lost Guthrie Housing Authority, and Guthrie Housing Authority was a great location. The people there were gracious to host there, and were very worked great with the election board, but that is gone. Now there are several new polling locations. Oak Cliff Fire Department's a new polling location, Guthrie Church of the Nazarene, Woodcrest Fire Department, Abel Community Church, Edmond Elks Lodge, and Logan County Fairgrounds. So, and it gets kind of confusing because the people at Guthrie Housing Authority, I think everyone's going to First Christian Church to vote there. If you were voting at Meridian Fire Department, you're now either going to the Nazarene Church or you're going to the Elks Lodge on Waterloo Road. And for some people, that could be about a 10, 15 mile drive if they decided to vote on election day. The folks that were at Lakeview, those are going to be in various locations as well. And then the Assembly of God, those folks like me, that's where I voted at. I now will be voting at the Logan County Fairgrounds. So that is what redistricting has done. They hoped, and it's not perfect, and that's what they said. There was deadlines to get all this in. There was a lot of confusion, a lot of deadlines. That was really, really tough for them. And so after this first couple elections, I think they're going to try to go back. Of course, they got to talk to state levels to get all this approved, but they're going to try to maybe fine tune some things where people aren't driving as far. But right now, it is what it is on that deal, and they're trying to work that. But if it's 15 miles away and you don't want to go through that process, then you can always vote early, or you can do absentee ballot. Real quickly, the easy thing to tell you, early voting will be Thursday, June 23rd from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Of course, early voting is at the Logan County Election Board. Thursday, June 23rd, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, June 24th, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then on Saturday, June 25th, it'll be from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Of course, Election Day, Tuesday, June 28th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Everybody should have gotten a voter ID card in the mail. You can take your voter ID card or your driver's license in on Election Day to verify who you are. The best method is to take your election card in there because that's came from the election board. So that's the guaranteed way. If you don't have your voter ID card, they will take your driver's license to confirm your identity and all that good stuff. Make sure your license is not expired. That's another thing. A lot of people on election day find out that their driver's license has expired. So don't run into that process. Okay. I have never voted absentee ballot before. And this is it's a great tool to have because I know a couple people who will be going on vacation and they won't be able to vote on June 23rd, June 24th, June 25th, or June 28th in person. So the only thing that you would be able to do if you're going to be gone or possibly gone is to request an absentee ballot. And you can do that right now. But the deadline to request an absentee ballot is June 13th, up until June 13th at 5 o'clock. Okay. You can go into the election board office, which is located at 224 East Phyllis, or you can go onto this online portal here and go down here and select absentee ballot. You currently have, I don't have one here, but you can go up here, click request an absentee ballot, and then begin that process. Okay. And there are a lot of things I learned today on absentee ballots. Again, if you have any questions on that ballot, once you receive absentee ballot, always call the election board office. Ballots are to be marked with blue or blue ink. Marked envelopes must be sealed inside the ballot envelope. And there's all these instructions in there. You just got to take your time with it. Don't rush through it because you want to make sure you get everything right. The affidavit envelope must be, and I didn't know this, of course, A, it's got to be filled out completely. B, it has to be signed by the voter. Know that. And then C, it has to be notarized by a public it has to be notarized by a notary public. And so your absentee ballot has to be notarized. And I do believe you can go through the drive-through at a bank. They can notarize it there, but your absentee ballot has to be notarized. The affidavit envelope may not be notarized by a candidate for an office. Makes sense. Of course, you got to put it on there. They're on the ballot by the chair of a treasurer of a candidate's campaign or by a person related to a candidate. So usually a public notary is the best and safe way to do that. Again, you can go to a bank, you can go through a drive-through bank and get that notarized there. It is illegal for a notary public in Oklahoma to change a free to notarize an official absentee ballot affidavit. The ballot's envelope must be sealed inside the affidavit envelope. Then the affidavit envelope must be sealed inside the return envelope. Again, all that jazz comes in all these instructions, and there's a white envelope, there's a green envelope. It's a process I learned today, but it's one way to get your vote in. And if you think you're not going to be there, here's something to remember. Ballots, absentee ballots, must be received no later than 7 o'clock on election day. A postmark prior to 7 o'clock on election day will not suffice. To ensure delivery of your ballots by the deadline, it is recommended that you mail your ballots to the county election board as soon as possible. Do not wait. The post office might be delayed. You don't want to take any chances if you want your vote to count. Ballots must be transmitted by the U.S. mail or by private mail service. Provide delivery documentation. You must return your own ballots. Again, you must return your own ballot. And if you want to do that by hand, you may hand deliver the ballot to the county election board no later than the close of regular business hours on the Monday prior to election. So if you want to turn in your absentee ballot at the election board, you have to do that before 5 o'clock on Monday, June 27th. And do my friends at the election board a favor, do it before 4 o'clock, because there's a lot of things that go on at 4:55 to get it to the mail, to get it to the post office in time. And if someone comes at 4:57, then it's a confusing deal. So do my friends at the election board office a favor by doing it before 5 o'clock, before 4 o'clock. But you do have until 5 o'clock to get that delivered. So that is absentee ballot. Again, I did not know it. I knew it had to be signed. It had to be in at a certain time, but I did not know it had to be notarized with that as well. So that's hopefully everyone knows that as well now. And okay, so let's take a look at some of the voter precincts here. I think, is that one? Yeah, it is that one. So these are all the different precincts here in Logan County. So like right there in the middle there, precinct 305, that is the Abel Community Church, which is located 6751 North Bryant Road. So before I go there, the most important thing is, where do I vote? Again, let me put my information in here real quick, because it's going to change. If you vote at one place, it's probably likely, not everybody, but it's likely changed where you will be voting. So go ahead and pull this up here real quick. If you want to know where your polling place is, again, precinct 308 is the last three numbers. Those are the important ones. But to avoid all that, go to your voting place. And my voting place now is Logan County Fairgrounds, 215 Fairgrounds Road in Guthrie, Oklahoma. Okay. Also, there's some great information. If you just scroll in here, it has what congressional district you are. District 5 for me, my state Senate district, and for everybody is Senate 20, currently held by Chuck Hall. State House District 31, which is currently held right now by Gary Mize. So I will be voting on that one between Carmen Greider, Colin Duell, and Logan Trainer. My county commissioner district is number 3, which is Monty Piercy. He is up for election as well. My school district is Guthrie Public Schools. My city of Guthrie Ward 2, I have 2 city council members. Ward 2, everybody has 2 plus a mayor. But I'm in Ward 2, which is Jeff Taylor and Brian Bothroyd. And then my tech center is Meridian Technology Center. So that will give you the information of where, of who you vote for, or what district, or what county, what school district, all that good stuff that you're in. So again, the link below here on the screen, that's where all this information is at. And I'll try to put it into the link here in just a minute. Here's another cool thing, is you can click and view your ballot. So this is going to be my ballot when I go in on Tuesday, June 28th, to vote between the hours of 7 to 7. So this is my ballot. You can see what it is. You can print this out. You can use it to how you would want to vote, or thinking about how to vote. And then you'll obviously get a new ballot at the poll to fill out here. But be voting for the governor, the state auditor inspector, the attorney general, the state treasurer, state superintendent, commissioner of labor. These are all state races. Corporation commissioner, U.S. senator, and then all 13 Republicans for the, and this is my Republican ballot here. So I got 13 U.S. senators to choose from. Jim Inhofe is leaving that seat. And then right now, Stephanie Bice, mentioned the redistricting. That District 5 is now for the first time on our ballots here, for most of our ballots here in Logan County. Stephanie Bice and Sabrina Banks for there. And then the local races here. For me, State District 31, between Carmen, Colin, and Logan, I'll be voting on that. And my county commissioner is District 3, so I'll have a choice between Monty and John Myers. If you live in a different place, you might have District 1 between Marvin Goodman and Mark Sharpton for that. If you live in District 32, I think there's one there. If you're in District 38, which was Pfeiffer, I don't think anybody is there. So it just depends where you live. But again, just simply go to the portal, type in your information, and all that is there. So hopefully that will answer most of your questions. You can do a lot of research on your own, but hopefully some of your questions are answered here. Hopefully they were answered maybe on that portal, on that website here. If all else fails and matters, the Logan County Election Board will be glad to help you. The earlier the better, because they get a lot of phone calls in the last few days of the election. So be sure to give them a call at 405-282-1900. It looks like my internet is in and out. I don't know if anybody else has had internet issues here lately. I will need to check on the internet deal, but anyway, okay, so I'm going through here to see if there's any questions. And luckily, I am recording this here, so I can update this here. Great information. Okay, so I don't see any specific questions here. I apologize, my internet is going out, but I am recording this to be uploaded later. You just happen to get to see the live version of this. So I think that's all my notes. Again, vote Tuesday, June 28th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can vote early, June 23rd from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, June 24th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then Saturday, June 25th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you want to vote by absentee mail, you have to request your ballot by June 13th. What day is June 13th on? June 13th is Monday. So you have to do that Monday by 5 o'clock. You can do that on the portal, or you can go to the election board office as well. It's easy right there at the tip of your finger on your own computer. So definitely do that. I'm sure there will be more updates along the way, but there's a lot of change because of the boundaries change, and this is the first election since then. And I do ask that when you go to the because there will be people who go to vote at the normal place, and they're going to have to say, you don't vote anymore. You have to go down the road to go vote here. That's going to happen. The election board is going to have signs up. There's going to be press releases to get out to the public. I'm helping as much as I can here, but try to get the information as early as you can to find out where you vote. And I do ask to be nice to our election people. Those folks work long hours for a little bit of pay, but just be nice to them, because there's a lot of things that's happening right now that's completely away from their control. Okay, so they're just there to put you in the right direction. It wasn't them that makes you drive 4 or 5 miles out of the way or makes you a new location. It's not them. They're just relaying the information. So be nice to those fine folks out there. What about people who are waiting on the renewed license and were given a paper license now that they are mailed? It's a good question, Taylor. And unfortunately, I don't have that exact. I didn't think about renewed license and a paper license. That would probably be a good phone call to the election board, 405-282-1900. And I would do that as soon as possible, just in case there's anything you have to do. And those folks they've been doing it for a long time, so they know exactly what they're doing, and can get you an answer pretty darn quick. So apologize, I can't answer that one exactly because I don't want to just feed you anything and be wrong. So apologize for that. Okay, I think that's all my notes that I have, and I apologize for the internet going in and out, but luckily I was recording this, and the portal will definitely help answer a lot of your questions, where to be at when the vote. So Logan County, again, continues to grow, more precincts, more workers, all that good stuff. So one more time, information, Logan County Election Board, 224 East Vilas, and the phone number there is 405-282-1900. If you want to be an official precinct there to help with the election day process, they are definitely looking for people to help them out to make the election process go smooth as possible. Again, they are needing people for June 28th, August 23rd, and November 8th. The hours are 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. But it's a great way to give back and serve Logan County. If you're a judge or a clerk, it's $100 plus mile pay if you travel 10 miles one way, and an inspector is $110 plus mile pay. There is a 2.5 hour training deal, but you can do that at the comfort of your desk or in your living room or whatever that. You can also go to the election board office and take that training as well. Again, that training is $35. All right, that does it here. I don't want to be too long with it to bore everyone too long, but again, the The web address at the bottom of your screen, very, very important to go there. It should answer majority of your questions. Taylor, your question would probably require a phone call to make sure you got that one right. But great portal down there. And of course, on June 28th, I will be live with the election results as they come in. We'll be talking as the numbers and who's winning the office and moving on to November, or for a lot of cases, moving into the office. I'll be working on some interviews with candidates. We're working on a few forums for the candidates as well, particularly in State House District 31. So if we do that, obviously we'll carry them live here on Guthrie News page. And I hope to come back on here and update you with any more information, maybe a little bit closer. A lot of people won't see this and have more questions. So I'm just trying to help out my election board people. They work so hard, the long hours, and the weeks up until election are crazy. Election days are crazy for them, and I just can't brag enough about them. Of course, all the people who go there at the polls to work, can't thank them enough. It is a long day for them. So, all right, I hope that works for you. If there's any questions, if you're watching this on the recording, I'll be glad to answer those in the comments. If not, I will tell you I don't know the answer, but I do know people who know the answer and can help you out. So, but anyway, hopefully that works for everybody. Have a great Thursday. The Oklahoma Sooners are trying to win the Softball World Series tonight. If you're watching this on delay, they probably have already won it. So have a great week. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next time. So long.